It's 2:00. I'll call the Stokes County Commission meeting to order. I'll have Commissioner Morris to do the invocation.
Let's pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for the many blessings you've given us. We thank you for your grace. We ask that you give us strength and wisdom as we work on the county issues today. Please lead, guide, and direct us as we go into the coming year. In your most gracious name we pray.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I get a motion and second for the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move down to public comments.
Each speaker shall be allowed 4 minutes for public comments with the option to yield time to another speaker or add an optional minute depending on the number of speakers that have signed up while abiding by the 30-minute total time limit. All speakers shall maintain good decorum and show respect and good manners. Vulgar language, profanity, inappropriate gestures, insults, personal attacks, accusations, and inflammatory language is prohibited. The chairman of the board shall enforce these rules, and anyone not complying with these rules shall not be allowed to continue. At their discretion, members of the board may address items from the public comment portion of the meeting during the commissioner comment period. We first have Doris Petrie.
I have a handout that will
Thank you. Endorse the
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you need one?
I can't take one, thank you.
You need one?
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, I tried to make this as simple as possible. I'm here regarding the solid waste pickup for Hanging Rock State Park. I gave you a little bit of my bio. I've been a lifelong resident of Stokes County, except when I went to nursing school. So, and I have lived near Hanging Rock State Park most of my life. I received a letter, I think there was 3 or 4 letters in the community that explained that we would not be allowed to dump our bagged household trash in the green boxes. The green boxes are 0.6 miles from my house. The letter stated that the park would be paying for a private company to take the trash. There is a copy of the letter attached to this. Okay, Robin, the superintendent at Hanging Rock, has been very, very helpful. And anytime we've had any issues about doing the garbage, it's not been a problem. So this was done in the early 70s. They put the green box site there for Hanging Rock State Park. When it was done, the park rangers, the park staff, and the neighbors decided, okay, y'all can throw your garbage in there, your household garbage. And that's what we did. And we tried to be respectful. That's over 40 years we've been doing this. And then we get the letter in the mail that was dated February the 10th. But I got the letter February the 11th. This doesn't seem like a big issue, but it is to the community. I have an 81-year-old aunt that's been taking 1 bag of garbage once a week to the dumpster, okay? It really upset her to think, I can't use this anymore. It's right in my backyard. So when there was some issues about some construction equipment and stuff being put in the dumpsters, this 81-year-old lady tried to pull the stuff out of the dumpster because she's like, they won't let us use it anymore. We shouldn't have citizens doing that. That's ridiculous. My concern is we've got the green box site there. This is not Robin's issue. Obviously, this was a commissioner issue or somewhere it came from that we couldn't use it anymore. I made some phone calls. I called Brad Chandler, I called Rick Morrison, I called Mr. Barneycastle. And I was told by Mr. Chandler that Hanging Rock State Park costs us his money. Well, yeah, it does. I'm sure it does. Law enforcement, emergency medical services, all that. It's expensive. But I also know that we have a lot of volunteer fire people that do a lot in the rescue situations, and they don't charge anything. They do get some tax money, but they don't charge anything. I think it's important to remember Stokes County would be a real quiet county without Hanging Rock State Park. It is for tourism, that is us, Hanging Rock State Park. It also provides some people stop at the store on their way to Hanging Rock Park. You know, it does provide some revenue. Not only that, it employs high school, college students, and we've dealt with some of those also. But I think it's a good thing that Hanging Rock's there. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. Okay, Rick, I talked to him. He was supportive of the green boxes in the community, the park community using the green boxes. But he had also told me many years ago when he was county manager that this was Robin, the superintendent's decision, whether she let us use them or not. And she's always been in favor up until now. I told Mr. Barneycastle about it, and he said when this was brought up, it was never discussed that the community used these green boxes. Okay, the only thing that was brought up was that the county would not be emptying the green boxes, or they would charge, or whatever the issue was with that. I don't understand all that. All I'm saying is since January the 1st, 2026, we have lost some services that my husband and I use. One is the green box sites don't accept antifreeze or oil because it was an increased cost to the vendor, from the vendor. This is another important issue, but I'm not even going to get into that. The other one is that we can't deposit our trash. It's 0.6 miles, you run up, throw your trash in, you leave. One of the neighbors would actually just walk up and throw her trash in. So my husband figured last night our property taxes increased 27% in 2025. That's a lot. I don't get a 27% raise. I don't know if you do, but I don't. And now services are cut. And it seems like it's little services. I mean, it's a big picture here. Is this saving that much money? And I did ask, but I haven't gotten an answer yet on how much money this is saving. But is it really worth it? Isn't there bigger fish to fry? I want to thank Robin for being cordial and helpful to the neighbors. Hanging Rock State Park, the community has always tried to work as well as we could with the staff at the park. We've been through COVID and putting up no parking signs, and there's a lot of issues. But we've always tried to be supportive and work together. And this is dividing it, and it's unnecessary. Thank you for your time.
You won't, thank you.
Robin?
Hello, I'm Robin Riddlebarger, 1336 Hooker Farm Road in Westfield. And just first of all, whenever I do a talk about anything in the park, I always give a quote. And my quote today is, I'm thankful that in a troubled world, no calamity can prevent the return of spring. That's Helen Keller. So just to start off on the right step. And it's a segue. Thanks, county commissioners, county managers, everybody. Hanging Rock does work in collaboration with all of our local allies, fire department, you guys, you know it. We've been on the mountain with Wayne a million times hauling people out for EMS calls. We work with the Arts Council, Stokes Arts, Torrey with tourism, hand in hand all the time on everything. And that's how it just gets done in a rural county. You guys know that. It's through these partnerships and collaborations. And I just want to say, if it's the end of the free trash, thanks. it's okay. And just to clear up a couple points that have been brought to my attention, yes, the county does spend money on EMS calls in the park. I wish we didn't have any EMS calls in the park, but we do. And it is very time consuming and resource consuming, and it's not gonna get any better. There's still 900,000 people visiting the park, and for whatever reason, half of them fall down and get hurt. It's always gonna happen. That's not gonna change. If our visitation increases, that's only gonna increase. But just to clear up one thing, we don't use a lot of law enforcement resources from the county in the park. It's pretty rare when the county sheriff's department comes in the park to help with anything. Not that they don't offer, they offer all the time. And we do take them up on things on occasion, but as far as regular investigations and reports, the park rangers take care of all that. And my last thing I just want to say is about the trash. I feel that we're in between a rock and a hard place because, of course, I want free trash. Of course. Who wouldn't want their trash taken away for free? But I do realize that now it's uncovered that some other places are getting their trash for free, and it's at a cost to the county. And in good conscience, I can't take the, free service from the county going forward. But it's coincidental that I was just going to have to get up a contract anyways. As Vade Meekum and the hotel and the restaurant open, there's going to be more dumpsters, more trash. I'm going to have to work out a contract anyhow. So it's just coincidental that this all comes out at the same time. We were going to have to take over our own trash anyway, because that's going to be a tremendous amount of more trash. So I hope that Doris and the other people in the county that are thinking about this in terms of voting next week, don't let the Hanging Rock trash influence any way you vote. Just please take that off of your, the things that you're listing in your mind of who to vote for and why. Hanging Rock has already started paying for their own trash and will continue to. And that's all I just want to say to clear it up. If anyone had any questions, wanted to hear it from me instead of hear it from someone else.
So you have a contract with somebody else now?
I did start a contract with a local company, and then as the Vade Meekum trash comes on in a couple more months, we're going to send that. It's just a temporary contract. We will be sending out a contract for bid to cover all of the trashes. So it's coming. We're going to stay for the rest of the meeting. If anything else is needed, we'll be here. Thanks.
Katie Tedder.
Hello, good afternoon. Katie Tedder, Quaker Gap Community. I am coming today to talk to you as the Vice Chair for the Stokes County Tourism and Development Authority. And first of all, again, thank you all for appointing me to that committee. We have done a tremendous amount of work in the last 2 years. We weren't sure how much work we had done until we had our second retreat a few weeks ago with Lizzie Morrison as our facilitator for that, and then we realized all the good work that we've done so far in our short amount of time. But I'm coming here tonight to make sure that you all know and that the community knows that tomorrow night will be our first meet and greet event, and the one tomorrow night is aimed for property owners, those who advertise their rentals on Airbnb, Vrbo, what have you. It will be held at the Arts Place beginning at 5:30 for a mingle and networking time. And then it'll be followed up by the debut of the new Stokes County Tourism Development or Tourism website. And of course, throughout that website, it does feature our beautiful Hanging Rock State Park, because like the first speaker said, we would not be, Stokes County is Hanging Rock. And we depend on that for our tourism greatly. So that will be, again, tomorrow night for the property owners in the county. And then on March 24th, same time, same place, 5:30 at Stokes Place, the Arts Place, we'll have our second meet and greet, but this one will be targeted to the business owners in the county, those who have restaurants, venues, businesses, hobby farms, other points of interest that draw in the tourism to the county. So thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, I'll be hanging out afterward, but all of you are invited as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all of our public comments.
So, thank you everybody that spoke today. We'll move to the commissioner's comments. I'll start with Commissioner Chandler.
First of all, I'd like to I guess, recognize or let us remember there was a North Carolina State Trooper. It was late last night, early this morning. He's involved in a single collision wreck in Robeson County. He passed away. So please remember his service, and please remember his family. It's something that'll change his family's atmosphere forever. So please keep him in mind. Then the second thing is reference the trash. So I wish that you would have told the whole conversation. I talked to you about 40 minutes, and we went over a lot of stuff. You seemed to kind of cherry pick, but granted, I guess you had a 4-minute timeline that you had to go on. So it's nothing against Hanging Rock State Park. I love Hanging Rock State Park. Go up there all the time. They bring a lot of people here. What the issue was when I mentioned about the service level, it was in combination to giving free trash service to the park system, especially during the summer and fall. I mean, I don't know what the count is this year, but 2 years ago it was 900,000 tourists came up there. And we're picking up trash. And of course, we don't have a landfill. We drive from here to Winston, and we pay to dump the garbage in the landfill. So not only do we pay that, but then also it's wear and tear on our trucks. We got employees that's tied up doing it. And then what I find, it's, and then I tell you that I understand, I want to try to work with you and work with us to try to find a way to solve your trash dilemma, because that does tugs at your heart, about your mother. And then you say that the Danbury as a whole, it drives farther than anybody else to a green box site. And if that's true, then okay, I think it's, we need to take an overall look at everything. And the last thing I'll say about it is that it's not just us responding up to Hanging Rock Park. I mean, that's what we do, and of course the volunteer fire departments, that's what we have, is volunteer fire departments. And they don't charge anybody for it because we give them tax dollars, and they get donations and stuff. But in the same context, that's still a lot of services that we provide, and we don't really see the automatic value when it comes back to the money, because they don't pay property taxes, they don't pay sales tax up on the state park. So, and I'm the one that started this, because I saw a Stokes County garbage truck coming out of that area, and when I was up there one day, I was kind of curious to why they would be back there. I had no earthly idea we were picking up free garbage. But at the same time, I think that it's something that we have to look at for financial reasons, obviously. But if we need to look at a better way to make sure that you don't have to go more than how many, I think you said 6 miles?
No,
Then-
now that is 0.6 miles from our
Oh,
house.
0.6 miles, okay. Okay, all right, that's all I got, thank you.
I'd like to welcome everybody and just remind everybody that early voting is underway. And then the election day is on March 3rd, so I would really encourage everybody to give us a good turnout and pick who you want to be your next elected officials.
Mr. Woods?
Thank everybody for coming out in this cold winter afternoon, and that's all I got.
Mr. Cox?
Just thank everybody for being here. And we've got the audit coming up, which we've been looking forward to hearing from, and the library update, which we're glad to have. And thank you, Robin, for coming and speaking and clarifying some things. And I find it odd that we're discussing it today on the discussion agenda, but it sounds like, you know, the decision was already made about what needed to happen, but this is the first time we're really discussing it in a meeting. So just, you know, I'll just have more to say about that when we get to that point. But just thank you all for being here, and thank you for those watching online.
I'll move to county manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to comment on one thing. You know, we all got some really bad news here in Stokes County several weeks ago when we learned about Parkdale's closure. And loss of all those jobs in our community is a big blow, big and unexpected blow. Myself and a couple other senior staff members had the opportunity to go out and tour the facility last week, and the commercial real estate guy that Parkdale is working with led us on that tour. And it's a really nice facility. It's in great shape. And that real estate broker that was giving us the tour shared some insights about it with us as well. He's actually handling the whole portfolio for Parkdale and all the facilities that just recently closed and a couple of other ones that closed previously and still are on the market. And he said it based on its size and its condition and its layout, it's the most marketable one they've got. So, you know, with any luck, we'll see that thing activate again here in the not too distant future. It's going to take some time. It's still full of all of the Parkdale business, personal property, all the manufacturing stuff that's inside of it. And it sounds like it's going to take about 6 to 9 months for them to get that out of there before it's really available for another owner. But hopefully, you know, next year we'll see somebody take advantage of that opportunity.
You got anything you'd like to say?
Sure, just because I got to serve on the board for just the Employee of the Quarter recognition that we have in our information agenda. I wanted to thank, of course, Jamie and Donna for letting me serve on that board and for creating that award, and of course to Joni, who we'll get to hear more about her later, but just how outstanding her achievements here at the county have been, and a very deserving first awardee for that, and I can't wait for you guys to hear more about it. Thank you.
Yes, I neglected to say thanks to Katie for being here and for sharing that information with us, and for serving on the board, the tourism board, and for all the work y'all have done, because that's being the first group to undertake that is pretty big, and I think it's going to just only continue to grow in our county. So we appreciate all the people who are serving on that board. Thank you.
I guess it's my turn. It's great to see everybody today. The Lord bless us with a beautiful day. A little windy, a little cold, but it's still a beautiful day because we're looking at the grass from the top side, so that's a great day. But going back into what our county manager said about Parkdale, I can relate to that. I worked for a textile company almost 45 years. And when I went to work there, there was right at 700 people. Today there's 120. A lot of those jobs went overseas. And I'm sure that's what all that happened to Parkdale. They done a lot of the weaving. But we started to see some of the weaving coming back into the United States, but most of it right now is going to in the South Carolina area. So evidently that must be what really put the hurt on Parkdale. But hopefully we can get something else to come back in that building, whether it be a little textile building or a production building. I have been there before. I know what Jeff's talking about. It's a very nice building. I'd love to see somebody come back in there. I think they employed, 75 people, something like that.
That's correct.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so it's, I'd love to see somebody come back and take that over and bring some manufacturing jobs back to our county. That's what we need. And I appreciate everybody's phone calls, everybody's prayers. I'm sorry I wasn't here at the last meeting. I had to have a procedure done. Just continue to pray for me and phone calls. People ask me what I need. That's all I need. Just encouragement and prayer. That's it. But again, thank y'all for being here. So we'll move down to the conflict of interest. Before moving further, does any board member have a conflict of interest with any items on the agenda for today, or want to proceed as a conflict of interest?
Nope.
Okay. Approval for the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Have a quick
Go
one
ahead.
comment I want to make to Tammy. I may have said this already earlier, but I don't think I did, but I really like that format change to the budget amendment. I mean, it makes it much easier to read and understand whenever you're not dealing with this stuff every day, so I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, I agree with Commissioner Morris on that. When I was looking at that, I was able to understand it better than 6 months ago. A lot better. So great job on that part. Move down to the information agenda. Brett. Oh, I'm sorry. Y'all voted on the, all in favor? Aye. Sorry about that. I was getting ahead of myself. Information agenda, presentation of the 2025 audit.
Good afternoon, everyone.
How are you, Kelly?
I apologize if I'm a little stiff. Being in a car hurts my back. I'm getting old. So, my name is Kelly Gooderham. I'm the Senior Audit Manager for Stokes County Audit. Before we begin, I just wanted to briefly clarify your auditor's role. We are engaged to audit the county's financial statements and to report whether they're fairly presented in accordance with accounting standards and free of material errors. The county's financial statements are the responsibility of county management and the governing board, and the information included in these statements are the results of their decisions surrounding how public funds are allocated and used. Our work focuses on financial reporting and compliance requirements within the scope of our audit. We have issued a clean, unmodified opinion, which is the best opinion that we can provide. So first, we're going to go over the different classifications of fund balance. This is your general fund. Just your general fund. So we have your non-spendables, which is your inventory, your leases, and your prepaids. And basically, that is just not in cash form, so non-spendable. Your restricted fund balance includes your stabilization by state statute. Others are your mental health MOE, your health department, and your various debt service reserve requirements for USDA and the like. Then you have assigned fund balance of $6.8 million, and then finally your unassigned fund balance of $12.4 million, which is just basically the fund balance that's not internally restricted or externally restricted, to arrive at a total fund balance of $28.3 million. This slide shows you your available fund balance as defined by the LGC. This is just a calculation that the LGC utilizes to compare units across the state. So again, we start with your $28.3 million of total general fund balance, less your non-spendables, less your stabilization by state statute, to arrive at total available fund balance of $24 million, which was an overall increase of roughly $2 million over the prior year. So another calculation utilized by the LGC, we take that available fund balance and we turn it into a percentage of expenditures, transfers out, and debt proceeds. So as you can see, over a 3-year period, the county has remained fairly stable for this one. And just to compare to county numbers, to statewide, and to your similar population group across the state, obviously fiscal year 25 is still ongoing for some units, so this is as of fiscal year 24. So again, the county has remained pretty consistent with their percentage, but as you can see for your population group, you're lagging just a little bit, but according to the LGC, I mean, you're still doing fine in that arena. Now we'll go through your general fund revenues and expenditures. Overall revenues increased around $19 million or 43%. which was mostly due to an increase in your ad valorem taxes, which naturally was because of the an increase in overall valuation, which is seen pretty much across the state, even in Catawba County where I live, and also your tax rate increase. Additionally, restricted intergovernmental revenues increased as well. Expenditures also increased around 11.7 million, or roughly 27%, which was mostly due to an increase in your human services. Some additional information not on this slide. Transfers in were roughly 2.7 million within the general fund. Transfers out were roughly 19 million. Leases and subscriptions was roughly 7 million. And installment purchase proceeds was 883,000 for an overall change in net position of 476,000. So now we'll go through your top three, I think four actually, revenues and expenditures. So first we have your ad valorem taxes. Again, increased a pretty good amount, 17.4 million or 107%. And again, that's just due to the tax rate increase and the tax valuation increase. Then we have your intergovernmental revenues, and I apologize for that access. Probably should have changed that so it doesn't show quite a drastic increase because it's only really 1.8 million.
I'll ask you about that.
Yeah, I will admit I usually review slides before presentations. This one I left up to somebody else. So,
No longer there.
I'm going to have a talk for sure. So it did increase, but only 1.8 million, so it's not as drastic as it appears, or 18%, which was mostly due to an increase in your DHHS grant revenue, as well as an increase in your Medicaid relief hold harmless revenue.
Solar farm people do that to us too with the scales.
Yeah, I try to check for that every time, and when I saw that today, I'm like, no, because you guys have already had the copy of the PowerPoint, so much apologies. Sales and services decreased around 218,000 or 5%, which was mostly due to a decrease in rents, concessions, and fees. And then we have other taxes and licenses increased 436,000 or 4%, which was mostly due to an increase in your local option sales tax revenue, which is seen pretty commonly across the state. Now for your expenditures, human services increased around 1.1 million or 10%, which was mostly due to an increase in your overall social services expenditures. Public safety also increased about 6.6 million or 42%, primarily due to increases in your sheriff's department as well as EMS expenditures. And then education decreased around $2,000 or less than 1%, which is pretty comparable. And then lastly is your general government expenditures increased around 286,000 or 3%, which was due to an increase in capital outlay expenditures in the public buildings department. Okay, lastly, along with the submission of your audit to the LGC, we are also required to submit what they call a data input report. This takes various financial information directly from your data, from your audit report, and spits out what is known as financial performance indicators, sometimes indicators of concern. So we'll start with the good ones. First, we noted a high quick ratio for water sewer funds. We noted, as previously stated, stable available fund balance percentage within your general fund. We also noted one significant deficiency finding as well as 2 material weakness findings, and not included in your findings, but a data or financial performance indicator of concern. Your water sewer fund transfers in were greater than 3% of total operating and non-operating expenditures. And this was not a financial performance indicator of concern, but it is something that keeps getting lower and lower. Your water sewer fund asset condition ratio, the LGC is concerned with anything lower than 0.5, and right now you guys are at 0.6. And I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it has been slowly declining, which just basically is an indication that asset replacements are probably needed in the near future to continue providing those services. And are there any questions?
Do it.
On your chart with the lines for the us and the other counties, the one. Yeah, that one. Are those like counties actually above 50% in their fund balance? I mean, it seems like a really high number.
So, well, this is one of those that you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt because there are some entities that have a higher or lower percentage because they may have future plans. So they may be have a capital improvement plan in place, and so I mean, there's just, you really have to look at it over time. I mean, you could have a huge drop next year, but have a completely valid reason for it. So this is really just kind of informational, but the fact that you guys are remaining stable and not below, I think the LGC is concerned with anything. Let me give you that number.
For our size county, they're concerned.
Yes, it is for, and actually, one difference, I think this started last year. The LGC no longer classifies entities by population. They classify by total general fund expenditures. So if you have, I think it's over 10 million in expenditures, which I believe you do. Yeah, the LGC is concerned with anything less than 20%. So you guys are you're definitely okay.
That was one real question. What should it be?
Yeah.
So they actually have an opinion on that. Okay.
Yeah, and a couple years ago I mentioned the data input sheet. I don't remember how many board members were there that are currently here, but this is your data input sheet. This is what's uploaded to the LGC. If you would like a copy of this, Tammy has it, but I can also send it to anybody so you can kind of look. But it also there's an informational section that just basically says, this is what the LGC is looking at. This is where we get concerned, if it goes below a threshold or what have you.
I think the only other question I had on the human services, is that health and DSS?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And nobody else, it's those two?
It should just be health and DSS.
I thought you said public safety was in that, not, is it?
Public safety is a
It's
different
human
function.
service.
Yes.
The
Yes.
human services, I was just
Okay.
wondering if it included the health department or if it
Yeah,
was just
I got you.
DSS. I think that's all I got for now.
I'm good.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, did you have anything? I'm sorry.
Let me get back to the agenda. There we go. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Get it.
Thanks, Kelly.
Move now to employee the quarter recognition.
Hey there. I wanted to come first just to say a few words. I wanted to sincerely thank you all and for the county manager for supporting our initiative to strengthen our employees feeling valued. I'm not sure if y'all know this or not, but the year before last when we completed the employee engagement survey, it showed that only 41% of our employees felt valued. Since then, we did the survey this year, and that has increased to 64%, so that's pretty significant. I know it has a lot to do with the way that we're structuring our pay now, but I also think it has to do with some of these programs that we have implemented that, we come in here, we wanted to do something that was a little to no cost to the county, but that would benefit our employees. And so we've started with, most recently, we've been doing Years of Service Awards, which is something that I don't recall happening here in the county, and then also this Employee of the Quarter program. So we've assigned a committee, and that committee serves on this program for 1 year to do one employee per quarter. And that policy states that this employee will receive a $100 Visa gift card as well as a free day of vacation, and then of course recognition here if we can talk that employee into coming here. So luckily we were able to do that today. So thank y'all.
Donna Rogers in my office has been managing this program, so I'm going to turn this over to Donna for the rest.
Good afternoon. Chairman and Commissioners, I hope you all are doing well. I apologize if my voice gets shaky. I have had a cold, so I do apologize. Let me just start by saying that we have 491 amazing employees here in Stokes County who are hardworking and dedicated, and we appreciate each and every one of those individuals. As Jamie had stated, Employee of the Quarter is designed to recognize and celebrate employees who go above and beyond in their work and service to Stokes County. It is a way to highlight outstanding contributions and to honor those who demonstrate our values through performance, innovation, professionalism, leadership, integrity, and customer focus. Our committee met on January the 2nd at 2 p.m. to discuss the nominations and vote on the fourth quarter Employee of the Quarter of 2025. We had several deserving employees who were nominated, and while we feel all employees are worthy of this award daily, we could only pick one from those that were submitted. This individual received 3 nominations from her coworkers and colleagues. I am pleased to recognize our Employee of the fourth quarter of 2025, Mrs. Joni Spencer. Joni has been with the Health Department for 10 years and 9 months here in the county. When reading through her nominations, one theme stood out about Joni again and again. She consistently treats every patient and coworker with dignity and respect. That alone speaks volumes. But what makes her even more remarkable is her ability to anticipate needs before they become problems. Whether it's noticing potential staffing gaps or identifying medical needs early, she is always thinking one step ahead. Joni brings more than skill to work each day. She brings her heart. She cheers on her coworkers. She shows up with a positive spirit. She thinks outside the box about how we can better serve our community. Her mindset isn't just about getting through the day. It's about making the day better for everyone around her. She willingly picks up extra tasks to ensure the clinic runs smoothly, and she does so with fairness, unwavering dedication, and the highest level of professionalism. You never hear her complain. She simply steps in where she is needed. Joni is the heart of her department. She is dependable, approachable, and always willing to lend a hand or listening ear. Her leadership style is rooted in compassion and fairness, which makes her not only respected but truly admired by her peers. Whether she is filling in for a nurse, covering shifts, or guiding the team through challenges, Joni does it all with positivity and grace. She wears multiple hats and consistently exceeds expectations, all while supporting her team and patients with kindness and care. These are words from her coworkers and colleagues as well. She is a go-to person for guidance, encouragement, collaboration, and that doesn't happen by accident. It happens because she has earned trust through her tireless efforts, strong work ethic, and the genuine kindness she brings to our workplace every single day. Joni, we see you, we appreciate you, and we're so grateful for the dedication and heart you pour into your job. On behalf of the Stokes County Human Resources Office and the County Commissioners, we are proud to recognize you as our Employee of the Quarter, fourth quarter 2025, and to thank her for her outstanding service to the citizens of this county. You are so deserving of this recognition. Congratulations. I would like for you to help me recognize her as she comes forward to receive her certificate and gift. This is your certificate.
Thank you.
And this is your gift card, and you may speak if you would.
I remember seeing this. I had a party down there. I don't know what to say. I'm the last person that deserves this award, but the first person to say thank you. And thank you, Donna, and the HR, to Tammy for supporting us, to you guys for supporting the county employees. There are so many amazing people that work for this county. We get to work with them every day, whether it be DSS or Public Works and IT, HR, the Sheriff's Department that comes every time we call, which seems to be all the time lately. But I hope that the health department, that you guys get to experience what I do every day. It's a great team, a great group of people,
that are truly here for the community. So, but thank you for the kind words. I don't deserve them, but I appreciate it.
Your time, and thank you to all of our employees.
Yeah, thank you.
You do deserve it.
She absolutely deserves it.
Thank you, Jamie, and your department for heading that up, and Donna for what the work y'all did on that committee. And I really appreciate the fact that we're doing the recognition per quarter. I think it's great.
Sound like somebody's doing a great job. Keeping up the work.
Yep, very well deserved.
Move to the Stokes County Public Libraries upgrade.
We are all here. Hello. It's great to see you all, and won't take up too much of your time, but we'd love to come visit. There's a few handouts here we'll just reference. Just going to talk about some general things about the gems you have in your 3 Stokes County libraries, and you know your branch managers here, and then they get to do the exciting stuff, which is talking about what goes on in the libraries. So I'm just here to be their warm-up. And of course there's Gretchen Parker from King, and Christine Bowles, Walnut Cove, and Lisa Lawless from Danbury. So we appreciate your time. I just wanted to mention, I learned so much when I come to these meetings in Stokes County. I had the pleasure of working with Stokes County for a number of years. I was just looking at the people on the wall here, and I remember a lot of them. And you've always had an outstanding group of commissioners here, and we appreciate the kind reception and your support. Just wanted to give you a few things. I think this is a brochure, just gives you a little overview of our system. And you know, the Stokes County is part of the Northwestern Regional Library that's been around since 1959. Danbury was one of the original founding counties of the region. The regional system is set up by state statute, and it's mainly for rural areas and small towns to enhance resources by sharing them so that every county doesn't have to get the same thing. So in return for that cooperation, there is state aid that comes into Northwestern Regional Library that helps support all the services. So again, there's additional funds coming in that are kind of working in the background, but really do help, and it does help all counties and towns to really save a lot of money, because we know by sharing resources, rather than duplicating them, we can save a lot of money. And believe me, we're as tight as they come. We have rubber bands we tie together, use other sides of pieces of paper, certainly recycle, but we are really glad to be part of the system here. You can see the map on the back. That kind of gives you a visual of where everything is. There are 13 branches altogether. Northwestern Regional Library is local, considered a branch of local government. Again, as you know, the staff here are not county employees, but employees of Northwestern Regional Library. We have a governing body that's made up of representatives from all the local boards, from all the libraries, so that everyone's represented everywhere. And you know, it seemed to work pretty well so far. We want to keep going. Again, it was set up by state statute. It is run, and Mr. Sanborn, I know we talked last year about why do counties support libraries, and part of this is because there's nobody has to have a library, no county. It's not required. You don't have to. It's a quality of life issue, and it's an economic development issue, just like parks are. Wonderful, wonderful hanging rock, which I love also. It talks a lot about the county. You have the geographic beauty here, but you also have people who've been committed to having library services in Stokes County for a long time. And again, we appreciate being able to build and grow and keep up with the times. So again, there is an interlocal agreement signed every 10 years between Stokes County and Northwestern Regional Library to establish this service. So if you have any questions about that, please, we'll be glad to discuss it, okay? The brochure just has some of our resources here. The online resources in the middle are things, you know, you all know we run 2 libraries. One's a paper library with books, and we love them. They're around, they're used, but technology, of course, is a big part of libraries now. And there's so many people who don't have technology at home, don't know how to use it. And the place they can go to in their community is the public library. You know, the public libraries are really the hearts of the community, and especially in more rural areas. They're so, so very important. So I hope you're familiar with some of these resources. Again, they're online, electronic, and if you have any questions about any of them, I hope you come by the library, talk to your local staff. Make sure you have a library card that looks like this. It could be used anywhere in Northwestern Regional Library or any of the NC Cardinal libraries across the whole state too. So again, there's exciting things happening with libraries to save money and provide more resources to everybody. So you don't have to live in a Raleigh or Charlotte to have access. You can live in beautiful Stokes County or Allegheny County and still have access to a lot of resources that independently would be really hard to afford. So we do want to get that word out. We are absolutely pushers of information. We really appreciate the time today. Again, you've had this. I wanted to highlight some of the other technology we have. Of course, we have PCs and good Wi-Fi and good bandwidth in our libraries. I know a lot of you have visited. Sonia, I know you're very familiar with the libraries, and some of the rest of you too. We work real hard to get that. That is one of the services that goes on kind of behind the scenes. We have an IT person that serves the whole region and keeps us connected, which is good. So we really get quite a bit of bang for the buck there. We do have hotspots that could be checked out, which some people just don't have access. They can't get it, but those who can check out a hotspot, they have access. We just got some new ones, and I know the staff said they've been very, very popular. It may seem very basic, but copying, printing, and faxing, we don't have a lot of Staples or Kinko's in the area, so the libraries are the business centers for copying, printing, and faxing. And as we all know, there's still faxing going on. There's some things that you are required still by faxing. I think some things with federal government are required to be faxed. So they are the places to go rather than driving to Winston. I know that in Walnut Cove, there's a lot of copying, including for restaurants and all sorts of things. And Christine can tell you more about that. So they go above and beyond using their copiers. Again, I mentioned the databases. We do have several that the region's purchased, and again, that's with all 13 libraries, because if we share the cost with 13 libraries, it costs less than 3 or 2 or 1. So by dividing that cost, more people have access. And one of the databases is Ancestry.com. Some of you are probably familiar. Genealogists are very very intent on what they do. People are looking for genealogy. We also have Newsbank that has national and statewide newspapers, as well as something called the Heritage Hub that has old newspapers in it. And since we've gotten that, it's been used an awful lot. People researching current event topics, you can go there and really put the subject in and pull up information from all over with different points of view, but it's a good way to get information. And of course, for historic things, it's helpful too. Of course, we have programs for all ages. The libraries are, if you walk in at any given time, you'll see people there doing one thing or another, and a lot of it is programs. The programming in Stokes County has increased incredibly, and of course it starts with little kids and babies with story times, and then it goes all the way up to people of all ages. And some of the craft programs have gotten so popular. I know there are painting classes and all sorts of things that people have gotten so excited about. And of course, book clubs do, and book discussions, which we all know book clubs are pretty popular. Reese Witherspoon has one, right? So there's a lot of interest there. Besides that, we do have some new regional-wide services that we try to help roll out for all 13 branches. And one includes some grants from the state library that included North Star Training. And North Star Training is a platform provided free of charge from the state with tax dollars, federal money basically. And all the staff has gone through the assessments to make sure that their skills are where they need to be so they can answer questions in technology. And then the training keeps increasing there so people can go back and learn new things. And whether it's AI or just any other topic that people are wanting to learn more about too, because we all know that is very present now and nobody is untouched by AI these days. So the next step of that is to actually roll it out to the public to really make sure people know that these services are available at no charge through their public libraries. It's a go-to place because we know there are a lot of people who may not have access, may not know how, need some training, need some hand-holding, because really we all know for people who don't have the access, don't have the information, don't have a teenager around, it can be daunting. And we know we can't apply for jobs, can't do telehealth, can't do anything, so many things without being connected. In this day and age, you're basically disenfranchised. So this is a real effort that public libraries all across the state of North Carolina are undergoing, and we're participating in that. We also are having an author roadshow this year. It's going to be in April during National Library Week, and some of you may know John Claude Bemis, who is a children's writer, lives in North Carolina, very enthusiastic. He was a teacher and is just full of energy, is coming to each of our 4 counties, and he'll be in the King area in April too. And he talks about, of course, the importance of reading, but also creativity. So we're looking forward to having him here. We are very glad some of our libraries will be part of early voting. I know that's going on. Again, the library wears many hats. And we're very interested in seeing the county survey that came out that you all did, and to see the services and that the libraries were considered to provide good service to people, and we keep striving to get better and better. Anytime you have any comments, questions, suggestions, talk to these ladies, please. I'm available anytime. You can look at these numbers here. This is for the whole regional system for the 4 counties. Our book circulation continues to grow. About half of our circulation is children's circulation, which is good. We're glad to keep kids reading, because we all know at 3rd grade it's less than 50% that are passing tests, and we try to do our part. The AV circulation, which is online physical resources, local and state, keeps increasing with ebooks and audiobooks, because we know there are more and more people commuting or exercising and listening to books, not necessarily reading them, which is fine. That will continue to increase. Library visits are staying up. Our programs are good. A lot of meetings going on in the libraries. Have any of you attended a meeting in one of the libraries? I think some of you have, yes. So there's more and more of a demand for a meeting place. And of course, our wireless and internet continue to be really active. We hope to meet with you soon, sir, and just answer any questions that you all may have. But thank you again so much for your support to keep very, very strong libraries in Stokes County. It's a wonderful county. It's a privilege to be able to work with you all. And I'd like to turn it over to our branch managers now. Thank you all. It's good to see you again. It's been a little bit since I've been able to come up and see you. Joan mentioned a lot of the things that I was actually going to bring up, so I will just kind of highlight with some of those. With the growth of our county, at least at my branch, we are averaging about 30 new cards a month, and that's with nothing special going on, like library card sign-up month, early voting, or summer reading. On events like that, it can probably be close to 100 a month or more if we're doing our jobs right and promoting as we do. Our partnership with Forsyth Tech and the Job Lab is as strong as ever. Most of their appointment days are often filled. We have to push people out a few days, because when they want to get help with a resume tweaking, get some job assistance of how to look for a job, the ladies with Forsyth Tech that work out of our branch have been extremely helpful and very friendly. So they love working with the public. Excuse me, I know I should have brought something to drink. Most days our spaces are filled with supervised visits, tutoring, studying, Lego nights, which has gotten really popular with the families. As Joan mentioned, our painting, our craft nights. Ours are so busy that we often have a wait list and have to push people out to the next month. We have a partnership with Hanging Rock that I'm looking forward to renewing again this summer, where our patrons can check out one of the passes to get some free services through the park. So that's helping increase our tourism both at the library and at the park. We also are partnering with Stokes Partnership for Children, and we'll be helping out at their Little Folks Festival coming up in April. So I hope you guys will bring the little ones that you know in your life out to come and see what all services are available for the littles. And our summer reading programs are right around the corner, and it's going to be what's it called? Dig Into Reading? Not Dig Into Reading, that was a couple of years ago. Unearth a Story, yeah. So a lot of dinosaurs, archaeology, so the kids are really, really excited. We're actually going to have like a traveling dino exhibit on a small scale, obviously, but some musical storytellers, magicians. We're constantly on the go. We all leave home. I keep saying that's the second time I've called the library home today. Leave feeling exhausted, but happy that we've done a good job that day, at least in our point of view. So we would love to have you guys come out and visit us anytime and just kind of see what all our little community centers are doing. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
guys, I'm Lisa. I'm at Danbury, which is just down the hill here. As well, you probably know, we have the history room where we have all of the county genealogical records. We've also recently been contacted about being home for the Lawsonville Elementary School quilt that used to hang in their hallway before the schools changed. So we're happy to have that or receive that. Also, we are home to the bookmobile, and it's 20 years old this year, so we are all just absolutely thrilled. Last year we did have to replace a couple things. The AC compressor, the battery, something with the fuel line. Anyway, I don't understand it all, but it was around $8,000, which we were able to pay, so we're not asking for any money right now. But we're just thrilled that it's still running and still kicking and still doing what it's supposed to. It has 98,000 miles on it, 98,957 to be exact. So for 20 years, that's not too bad. John was talking about the printing stuff that we do at the library, and I just wanted to say on court days, we are absolutely swamped. They send everybody to us to get copies, and we have notaries there to notarize things. Amy, who is our bookmobile driver, actually got her notary. So now we have a mobile notary that can go around on the bookmobile. If you can't get out, again, we'll come to you, which I thought that was pretty cool. Lastly, I just wanted to share that we had someone kind of famous come in. It's been a while back, but if any of you guys are familiar with the name Dee Snider, the band Twisted Sister, I see some nods here. Yes, Anya may know them back from the big hairband days. He came in, leather hat, leather jacket. He looked like somebody from New York. You know, he had that big, wild, yellow, curly hair all pulled back into a ponytail, and he was with his buddy just riding around, looked at the beautiful country. He talked about how gorgeous it was out here and how nice everybody was, and he just wanted to pop in and say hey. So we didn't ask for any autographs or anything. We played it cool, but it was exciting to have him stop in. So.
Everyone's doing well this afternoon. Let me get myself kind of reorganized here because I'm kind of switching on my script here. I was not going to mention Parkdale, but since it was brought up by Mr. Sanborn and several of our commissioners, I really wanted to tell you about some of the stories that we are hearing from actual employees, former employees of Parkdale. Since Parkdale has closed, I believe we're looking at around 2 to 3 weeks now that it's been closed. We have had around 12 to 15 individuals who have come in, of course, needing help with resumes, job applications, and at times, I mean, literally, I've had to hand people Kleenex. They are just out of sorts, not sure what's really happening, and in talking to many of the people who have come in, that's one thing that I keep remembering, that we are here as public library people, workers, staff, part of our community. We're here to serve our communities, and that includes everyone in Stokes County to me. But and we deal with a lot of people who need help with job applications and resumes, but it's been very eye-opening to work with many of the former Parkdale employees, because some of these people, they have worked there pretty much their whole working lives throughout many changes that Parkdale has went through throughout many years. I remember, with being born in Walnut Cove, raised in Walnut Cove, I remember when Parkdale was built and how great everyone thought that coming to Walnut Cove was back in the age when textiles were really popular. And so in thinking in terms of, what can we bring into that building to help us, to help get some of our citizens back to work, please, just as y'all are thinking of that, please consider everyone, so that we can put some of our people, our Stokes County people, back into the workforce there, because like I said, we've seen some people they're really struggling with this. I'll say that. And we have, I think, created more resumes and helped with more job applications in these past couple of weeks than we have in any one stretch of time throughout the year. It's an ongoing thing, but here lately it has been quite considerable. So please just remember, if someone has any problems, we are here to help those people. Also, just some other things I kind of wanted to mention too. Of course, our programs are very strong and going now, and of course, preparing for summer reading, summer learning. So we are almost there to that point of having that prepared. Also, just kind of another thing I wanted to mention too, the growth that we are seeing in Walnut Cove. I'm sure you all are aware of the potential of the 150 mobile home spaces we could potentially have at Alamo Drive and Fowler Park that could be coming to us pretty soon. So we're going to have to account for several of those, because I'm thinking a lot of those families will be from out of town moving in for, say, a short period of time with all the construction growth and things that we're getting ready to see. So the thing that the libraries can help with that, many of these families they are traveling families. They're not going to be in one place for a long period of time. And that brings people into us because a lot of the moms and the families, the children, they are all homeschooled. So that adds more resources for us that we can provide to them. So that's just a couple of things to do with the growth in Walnut Cove. I just wanted to show just a couple of things. This is something that I had an absolute pleasure at helping some Stokes County people last week. I don't know if anyone is familiar with the Covington Tobacco Farm that used to be here many years ago. I brought just a couple of these, if y'all would like to pass this article around. Some of the descendants of this tobacco farm were in last week, and we're looking for this very specific article here. That after about an hour and a half, I was finally able to locate that article, and we ran about 50 copies of that article off because they wanted one for everybody in the family. But it's just those kind of stories of helping families do their history, do their research. Those are the kind of things that we enjoy doing so much. So y'all are welcome to keep that if you would like. I've got several copies of it. I even promised them I would save it on one of our flash drives to have that. And also they were very thankful that we were here as the libraries, because I think the Covington family had actually been into all three libraries doing some research. Just one other thing I wanted to touch on is our programming. I do need these back, so these are examples of our assistant manager, Chelsea Russell. She teaches a watercolor class 2 times a month, and these are just examples of some of the work that our students are doing. Those classes are always full. Of course, being a public library, they are free to the public. We ask for donations, and that in turn helps us pay for our supplies. So that's not money we're having to spend. But people are very thankful for those programs. And then the last thing I will mention, if you've looked on our Facebook page, our Mahjong group that we have formed, it is very popular there. In fact, we're planning 2 tournaments this year instead of 1. So please look towards more information for that coming up. And then, of course, our book clubs. I don't know how, but I am very thankful. We now have 8 book clubs using the Walnut Cove Library. And that includes people meeting using our meeting spaces for those book clubs, or utilizing our services to check out their materials that they do need for their book clubs. So I just want to say thank you for everything you all do for us. Please let us know what we can do to help everyone in our county, and how we can, if you have any suggestions, we will be happy to take those. But thank you all so much. We do appreciate you.
I really appreciate you working with those
Yes.
folks from Parkdale on the
Yes, sir.
resumes, because I was just sitting here thinking about when I went to work for the company I went to work for. It 1978.
Yes.
You just walked in the door and told the man you was looking for a job and he asked you what you could do.
Yes.
And you could tell him, "Mr. All right, be here tomorrow, I'm gonna put you to work." That's not the case in today's world. They
Yes,
want
sir.
a resume and everything else before you can get hired, but I really commend y'all for helping these
Thank
people
you.
because I know a lot of people work there had 30-some years
Yes,
plus.
yes.
A lot of people that work there.
Many people, and hope we just want to see everyone who wants to be able to work, just to be able to, be able to find that job that they're looking for, look after themselves, their families. And hey, that's why we're here, is to help everyone. So
If you don't mind, I just wanted to mention Parkdale too, because I lived in Gaston County, and I think Parkdale started there with Duke Kimbrell, and it was always a good plant. One of the textile places is still going on too, and I hope it'll continue, having worked in a textile area and seeing what happened there.
thank y'all all so much for having us today. We certainly do appreciate you all. Thank you.
Quick question, could you elaborate
Yes.
on checking out hot spots, how that works?
Yes, sir, I certainly can. Actually, I should have brought one with me today. They check out very similar to, say, a book or an audio book or DVD. You do have to have a library card in good standing with us. No bills, no fines or fees or anything. And then you are able to check out that hotspot for 7 days once you have read and signed our user agreement, just saying you will look after it and, not throw it in a mud puddle somewhere or anything. We don't want that to happen. But once you sign your user agreement, you are allowed to check it out on your library card for up to 1 week. And then you have another week that you can renew it for. So you can have it for up to 2 weeks. And we literally have a waiting list right now for people.
You don't have to pay anything, right? You don't have to pay
No,
anything.
it is free, just as anything in the library to check out would be.
They connect to data. You don't
Yes,
have to have Wi-Fi
yes, you
in
do
your
not
house.
have
It
to have
helps
that.
you bring Wi-Fi
Yes,
in.
yes.
It was very, very
As I
impressive during
mentioned, all of
COVID.
our libraries have them, and people can borrow some from some of the other libraries in the region too. And again, that's one of the things we appreciate your funding, so thank you.
We got people in the waiting list.
Yeah.
Okay, is there any other questions we can answer for you?
Just thank you for your presentation. I'll be
Thank you.
seeing you maybe this week with your granddaughter.
And we would,
that place.
yes, we would love to have y'all visit. If anytime you're through Walnut Cove, I know you're here in Danbury a lot or King, we'd love to have you all just stop in for a visit one day. So
Appreciate
definitely,
the update
thank
and all
you.
the things y'all bring to the community.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
See, that moves us to the discussion agenda, the solid waste pickup for Hanging Rock.
Do you need these back?
No, ma'am, y'all can keep those.
All right.
Thank you. It's a very interesting article to read.
My glasses on.
You still like that?
I guess I forgot to put them back in my bag.
Okay, so we've introduced this topic already today with the public comment, but a couple of you requested that we put this on the agenda so that we could further discuss where we have been, where we are, and what we might be able to do in the future. So, Stuart, can I answer any questions or?
Yeah, what y'all ask, whatever, be willing to talk or do whatever. Y'all tell me what you thinking.
Go ahead, Rick.
Was there any agreement, written agreement signed when this was all started, like 40 years ago or whatever? Or
Prior,
any documentation?
like several years ago,
Or any time, really?
I've not found anything. No. To my knowledge, there was
40
nothing.
years ago, they probably still had their own landfill up there, which I'm probably the only one old enough to remember that.
I would just make an opening comment or say that seems like to me this is two separate issues, really. And nobody's done anything wrong. It's just that it's something that evolved over time, like a lot of issues do. There's one side of it that's the business side that that involves where the county gives away free services to any entity, whether it's, in some cases that may be appropriate, others maybe not. I would think if we're doing that with this kind of service or any service, it has to be consistent. What we're doing. We can't do it for one and not the other. So, you know, for auditors and everybody else to have, I would think them doing their contract and us doing ours, or us doing a contract with them or something like that needs to be in place instead of a 40-year-old handshake. I mean, because 40-year-old handshake turns into people forgetting and what was done and not being aware of what was going on. And like Brad discovered this, you know, I think I might have remembered the issue coming up when I was county manager one time over, I thought about this after the fact, but over, it may have been you or some of your predecessor about putting inappropriate things in the dumpster up there or something.
We've had that happen from time to time.
It seemed like I remember some discussion about that or something, but it's not something that really stuck with me or anything. The whole issue didn't stick with me. I really kind of forgot they were doing it. So I think it's appropriate, especially when what Robin was saying, this was coming to a head anyway with Veda Mecum. Because unless we were going to expand the service and then do even more of what we were doing. So it was going to have to be dealt with at that point, if it hadn't been earlier. So, I guess my thought process is just deal with the business side of it and then separately examine the historical precedent of it. In fact, it's been going on so long, and research and examine how far these folks would have to take their trash compared to other folks in the county at other dump sites. I don't know if we have that kind of data, or you can figure that out or not. You know, to see if theoretically it would justify another site here locally.
I think that's what, you know, that community was using it as another site, and that's what, you know, has been taking place. There is the other site at Sizemore Road, which is 5 miles from here, and then we have the other site on 66, which is somewhere around 7 miles. So there is other options, you know, close by, but if we need to look at something up here or something on this side, you know, that would be up to the board. But I mean, it could be done, if we wanted to.
We could add that as an evaluation for the coming year, the spatial relationship of where all current sites are and whether or not there's a better, more efficient way to
Well, how many
locate
citizens
them.
was using that
There's no way to know, like, it's like I told Maggie this morning, it's like a
Come
rite
on
of
up here,
passage
come up
for
here,
park
Robin.
rangers. When we get a new park ranger,
They inevitably see somebody dumping trash and then run them off, and then I tell them, no, don't, it's fine.
Yeah, Robin was blindsided by this too, and I think we jumped too quick without doing our homework. Yeah, the business side, this is going to be a problem in the future, big time for the whole county. But we reacted too fast, I think, without putting a lot of thought into it.
Well, this is the first time it's been on the
Exactly.
discussion agenda, and my question is, do we even have an estimate of what it could have possibly been costing the county just to go up there? And I mean, that's a question that I'd like to know.
I mean, I'm paying somebody now $300 a month for once a week pickup.
How much? I'm sorry.
$300 a month, that's once a week pickup. We have 3 8-yard dumpsters. And when we send this out to bid, when we add on our Vade Mecum dumpsters, it'll go out to bid and companies can bid on it. So I don't know what it'll end up being, but that's what it is now. I don't have any knowledge of how much it would have been how much the county,
Right.
I don't know.
In the peak summer months, we were probably pulling 3 ton a week.
How many trips is that?
Three, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The dumpsters will hold anywhere from 800 to 1,000 pounds. So we were hitting them 3 times, and that's peak months, you know, April, March, April, May, somewhere August, September, probably into October, because, you know, the leaves, you know, people doing the fall stuff.
What's the tipping fee charge for that?
$36 a ton is what we pay. Now, off months, currently, you know, we can get by with picking up once a week. So we, as far as trash goes, we were probably going to have 300, we probably had 300 in it, you know, in the peak months. And that's not counting any labor, fuel costs.
Wear and tear on the vehicle.
Right, wear and tear. And when I talked to Robin to begin with, I told her, I said, Robin, it's you know, from what we're picking up in the peak months, it's gonna be kind of expensive. I was still kind of running some numbers and putting it together, and I didn't want to give her anything that wasn't going to be, you know, pretty close to what we could do it for. But that's kind of where it's at right now, you know, as far as the time's at. You agree to that?
Yeah,
correct?
I hate that it's come to, you know, upset people, but it is important, and at least no matter what we figure out, it's a jumping off point. It won't change anything for me.
I had in my head to begin, you know, when we first started talking, somewhere around 400 a month is what I had in my head just to come out.
Well, I understand all this from a business standpoint, but I guess what gets me more than anything is it really wasn't put on the discussion agenda to discuss. It was just briefly brought up, and I understand Brad's concerned about that, saving the county money, but that's neither here nor there. If that bankrupts the county, then we're in trouble. But I guess what concerned me more than anything, I felt like we should have reached out to Hanging Rock and said, hey, look, here's what we are planning on doing. Did you want to sign a contract with the county and we provide the services, or do you want to reach outside and get somebody else? And on the flip side of that, she could have reached out to the residents and said, hey, look, we're going to have to pay X dollars a month. So if y'all want to continue using these dumpsters, you're going to have to pay a fee. So I just think we went about it wrong. And I think going forward, anything to do with this county, providing any type of service, it comes before this board before it ever goes back out to the public for discussion. Because we're the one that gets the phone calls. We are. So I think going forward, anything that's got to do with whatever this kind of service this county provides, before we make any changes, that it brings before this board and we're back in discussion on it. That's just my feelings on it. But I mean, I know she's done reached out to a contractor now, so there ain't no backing up on that part, but I feel sorry for the citizens that was using this. I remember this all the way back to the day of Tom Sutton. So now I can take you back to the 1980s and 70s, so I remember this very well. So, and he was park ranger there for years, fine fellow, done a great job with our county. So, but that's just my feelings on it.
You want to set it up?
Yeah, Tom was.
Well, yeah, back, if you recall, at the end of Residence Drive, there was a landfill in the park, and if you're ever hiking back in there, you can tell what used to be back there.
Yeah.
So that was just how, I mean, people burned trash and buried it back when, and the early 70s wasn't 40 years ago, that was 50 years ago.
I told y'all I'm old.
I was alive for some of those, but I wasn't the superintendent, so I don't know how it began, and Stuart didn't drag his feet. He warned me that this was becoming a conversation quite a long time ago, and it went in one ear and out the other. Yeah, we need to find something with the dumpsters, and then we started talking about it again recently when it came up with y'all. But so he didn't tell me like a date, like you have to have it by Friday. I just said, can you give me a little time to hunt down somebody? And during the snow, I called up people and I found somebody that could do it right away, and so we can get it out to bid. So that's how that all.
I had sent Jennifer here a contract that she was looking over too. So we had some stuff in place. It just didn't.
It never got here.
It never got here. It never
yeah,
got
right here. That's what I'm talking about. Right
it never
here.
got right here.
Yeah, that's my point right there. It never got here.
But
Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead. So again, I'm the one that saw what I thought was unusual activity. and being from the cop background, you know, it's not just where we picking up trash, that maybe there was other activities going on that you know would not be good for the park or the county. And then I went to the manager, and then I know we contacted you. Now this is like in the summer, like going, you know, sometime after July, maybe August. I don't know. And then you know, I found out that we weren't charging, and I felt like that, you know, something had to be done, because I think we were putting probably more money in the system. But with that being said, I didn't know that we were also that we were providing free service for our residents to go to Hanging Rock to dump the trash. But it kind of leads me to, well, before I go on to that, let me finish this thought, is that, so, I mean, at a meeting, you know, I asked some questions about this. And part of the reason that I asked the questions about it is because I wasn't hearing anything back. And so then, of course, and then after the meeting, and then it was, then you know, we were all told that we weren't doing it anymore. So, I mean, again, you know, I'll take part of the blame. I guess I should have initiated, you know, coming in front of the board. But at the same time, I mean, I never received any information about what the cost was either. But to the bottom line is, you know, we got to look after our citizens. I understand that. But my question, Robin, is how did you know to send these letters? Did you send these letters out to people?
I talked to Stuart on the phone about, and said, hey, I found a company to get the trash, so how about we just say, okay, Tuesday, that's the day, you know, we're ceasing free trash. And so I was working that day, and so I just drafted up a letter and sent it out to the neighbors that I knew just from my memory, that I can just remember seeing at the trash dumpster, or that I've had conversations with through the years. It was not an exhaustive, you know, reach to all the neighbors that joined the park or anything. It was just people that I could think off the top of my head that I knew to use the park as like a courtesy, like a warning ahead of time, like, I don't know, just as a courtesy saying, it's coming to an end, sorry, you know, you need to make other plans. And I hope I didn't make Doris feel singled out. I didn't mean to single out anyone. I just wanted to like get the word out to as many people as I could think
How
of.
many letters did you send out?
Maybe 12 or 13.
So 12 or 13 people is what we're looking at.
Well, there's probably, we don't know.
Right, no idea. The dumpsters are in a place it's a public area where you know, it's not behind closed
It's not another
gates
tent
or
there
anything.
either.
It's just right
Well,
there.
that was my, you know, that was my next thing. So, you know, I mean, at all of our green box sites, we have attendance. So, I mean, can we do without attendance then? Is that, I mean, is that?
Don't go there. Don't start
Yeah,
that.
when I came to Hanging Rock, of course, I also told somebody dumping trash, like, hey, you can't dump trash here, you know. And then I was told by my supervisor, Dave Cook, my predecessor, that, oh, it's a green box site. And then found out from your predecessor that it's really not a green box site. It's an unofficial green box site. But this is just something that's been happening for 40 years, and it's not hurting anything, so don't worry about it. So as every park ranger that runs off someone dumping trash, I would say, well, it's not official, but you know, we don't pay for it either, so who cares? It wasn't a problem until like somebody puts a bunch of carpet in it or you know, lumber, and then the trash people get mad because there's junk in there. So we just kind of worked it out unofficially all these years. And
Yep.
obviously, that's not working.
Can I say something? This was done by the park rangers, Joe Spear, Thomas Sutton, some of the old, y'all know those older guys. This was a handshake, okay, you can do this, you can use the road from the CC camp up where the gate's at. It was just, the people got along. It wasn't a...
The world was way smaller back then.
Yeah.
That's where I heard that there was some kind of an easement. You're talking about going through that field with a real pretty view of the mountain, is that,
Well,
somebody else allowed you to do that?
Judy Hopkins' mother owns that road, that gravel section of road.
That's the one that comes in like the back entrance to the park.
It joins right to the park, right by between the dumpsters and the group camp.
Yeah.
The park owns the gate. Everything after that is Miss Ann's property. Yeah.
Are they still using that road too? No.
I just locked it the other day because of everybody getting upset about the trash. And I know that Judy had seen someone else, well, she just saw someone dump the trash, so just in order to nip that, I just went ahead and shut that gate. Sometimes it's closed, sometimes it's open, it's back and forth, but people are not supposed to be driving on that because it's Anna Folks' property.
It's one where the goats are at, right?
Right. Yeah.
The real pretty goats.
Yeah.
So I guess my recommendation, I guess we'll talk about this further. I mean, for action, but I know that this wasn't on the agenda, but I think it was brought up in public comments about the oil or the dirt or oil and everything. So if we're going to look at the trash, then I think we look at the oil, because I've received 50 more phone calls than the other 3 that I've received from the people about not being able to dump trash.
That's another thing that we got blamed for that we didn't know anything about till it was already done.
So I'm just asking that we also consider that if we're going to go on comments. And I think, I owe it to the other 50 people that I talked to if we're going to do this. So that's all I got.
Let me summarize a couple. First of all, Robin, your folks and your leadership wants to stick with what you've got. I mean, it's a clean system now for you and to be able to transition to Vega Mecum and everything, right?
Yes.
So we just need to come up with a alternate path forward about what we're going to do with some data now, like Jeff was saying, some data analysis. And is that what you were saying? Like analyze this situation, get more data on who's using how many.
If that's the way that they want to go, we could bid it.
Okay.
We could do that.
That's a possible solution there.
You see anything against that, Jeff? As long as we got a contract.
The overall thing, or?
Yeah, when they put it out to rebid, when you gonna do that, Robin?
Whenever budget gets it written up.
But would we do it without an attendant being there? We want to bid it without.
Well, it would just be for the park. It's not gonna be considered a green box.
Oh, okay. And it's got way too many tentacles to it, doesn't it?
Leave it alone.
We don't want to make it a green box site, I don't think.
What?
We don't want to make it a green box site, I don't think.
I agree to that.
Yeah.
I don't think, I hadn't seen any data, but there's not enough people to justify that.
Well, what about if we would do a contract with Hanging Rock just for a limited amount of people or a limited amount of trash where they could still deposit there and we would reimburse you, or work something out to where maybe we take the trash once a month. I mean, just some kind of to where it's like a win-win, where we're not paying for the total trash, but at the same time you're not paying for, 11 people that are coming up there to dump the trash.
I'm open to any kind of thing we can figure out.
Can I ask something? When you do Vega Mecum, are you gonna need dumpsters over there?
Yes.
So you'll have to have some more dumpsters.
Right, it's gonna produce food waste and just tons
So
more
you're-
trash, so it'll have its own.
Because you don't wanna travel from Vega Mecum to this
Right,
site.
Yeah, back and forth with truck. We have 1990s trucks. We've already built a dumpster platform over there and it'll have its own dumpsters.
Hey, one
Has there
last,
been a problem with the community using
With these
for
ones.
you?
No. I mean, occasionally we have to pull out an odd chair or roll a carpet, but
I've
no,
seen it.
it's nothing compared to the real problems. I mean,
Yeah, I've seen, there was a commode Oh, yeah.
Hey Stuart, if it really is a really small number of people using this, it's probably more than what Robin sent the letter, but not much more probably. Is there any other dumpster around the neighborhood here that those people could go to, or like something here on this campus, or anything that, or is there other unintended consequences?
It's not a problem for us.
There is places, but I think we might get more consequences. It ain't a good situation. You set a dumpster somewhere, then people start going, and then the word gets out, and then it usually.
Hey, I got a
it don't
dumpster
end
on
up
my
good
road
most of the
that
time.
I'm paying for, and my neighbors think it's theirs.
So our path forward is to do some analysis on this and look at other options. Is that what-
Hey, well, let's,
I think it's for more discussion.
more discussion on it.
Yeah. And Jeff, you want to figure out what data we should look at, or how to analyze this? Recommend.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to do it yet, but my thought process was to look at the geographic dispersion of the current sites and see if there are, have-not communities within the county that aren't very well served.
Yeah, okay.
Holistically, not just about this one location.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah. Do this table till next week.
I don't know, I can do that analysis by the next meeting, but.
We'll just table it till you say bring it back.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go, till you bring it back to us, we'll
Yeah.
more information on it.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you. Let's see, Board of Health appointee, that's Miss Olivia.
Beverly Essick is currently the registered nurse on the Board of Health. Her term will expire, I believe, at the end of this month. She wants to continue in her position, so she has resubmitted her application. As we typically do, we can nominate her at this meeting and then move to action for the next meeting. So say you all.
I nominate Beverly Essick.
Have a motion, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the JCPC appointee,
Now, this don't run out, the ESSIC don't run out before our next meeting.
Technically, yes, but I asked if
Why
it.
don't we move it to action?
Well, we can.
I thought I
They-
had this
they-
set for 2 weeks.
Typically, we let it sit for 2 weeks. I asked if they needed it to be expedited. I don't think. They didn't.
She can still go.
She said it was fine. Mainly, the issue with something like that would be if they were going to vote on something. So if they had like a vote the next meeting that she was a voting member on, we would then expedite it. But I don't think that they're running into anything like that.
Okay.
Still
I think it's
advertise it.
okay.
Gotta
Yeah, we
advertise
do
it for 2
typically
weeks.
advertise it, but I asked if it needed to be expedited or if they were okay with the 2-week waiting period. They said they were fine, so I think we're okay there. Same thing for the JCPC appointment. Reverend Kilby, who is the chairman of the Stokes Juvenile Crime Prevention Council, requested the appointment for Patricia Durham as the representative for the Stokes County Schools. She would be replacing Selena Howlett, who resigned last year. Same thing, we can nominate, wait for 2 weeks, and move to action for the next meeting. And that name was Patricia Durham.
Nominate Patricia Durham to the JCPC.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Got the action next week.
I think we got any action.
Do we have any action on
I
this?
do not have any action today.
That takes us to closed session.
Make a motion to go to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Maybe we
Yeah, let me read the direction now. We'll be going into closed session for the following rationales: to discuss matters relating to the location or expansion of industries or other businesses in the area served by the public body, and to consult with an attorney employed or retained by the public body in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege between the attorney and the public body, which privilege is hereby acknowledged.
I have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
But, motion carried.